A lot of work has been done to this car. It probably looks the same as the last time you've seen it, but oh, unbelievable. We have the rest of the cage in now. I still have to wait to get bolts from work to put the 2 bottom bolts in through the floor. I'm just standing in front of the fan because it's got to be like 36 degrees outside plus humidex, so it's pretty hot out. Anyway, so we have the cage in. We just need to finish going through the floor. We put the sidebars in. If I'm told to remove them, I can remove them. It's not a big deal. We've got all the doors seat belted shut. Now this is going to a very, very, very stock show. I'm not even sure if this cage is going to be allowed to be ran inside the car. So that's why I put this cage in it. So if they say this cage can't be ran, I can just start unbolting it and removing it. So I have pretty much that for seat belts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seat belts. On the doors total, I got the 2 on the trunk. That's it. That's all I've done. And the reason for this is because this car is pre-ran. It's pretty rusty. You guys are going to laugh a bit, but I just basically wired the door shut. But right now, this car is at the point where it runs, drives, stops. I have all my electrical to the point where all I got to do is put my toggle switches in. I can take my fuel, which is the blue, and my computer, which is the red, and just hook them to the positive, and then just jump it with the white wire, and the car fires up, and it will run and drive. So here's my question for you guys. This car's got to come out because this derby is in, this is like July 17th. This is in like a month and a half, this derby. This derby is in 2 months for this car, so I can either pull in the Lumina, but before I pull in this Lumina, let me tell you about it. I really like driving this around the property. It is quiet because it's got a full exhaust system on it. It's got air conditioning, the wipers work, everything works. So I'm not really sure if I'm ready to pull this thing in. Plus this demolition derby, like I said, is like 2.5 months away. I know you guys are getting tired of seeing all the Camrys, so I do not want to pull another Camry in. And believe it or not, guys, I'm getting tired of Camrys. I know, I said it. I'm getting tired of Camrys. I could pull this Buick in, but realistically, this Buick needs brake lines, gas lines. It needs to be fully stripped, and I don't really have a good stuffer vehicle as of right now. I have Adam's Camry, but I already put an interior in it. And like I said, I don't want to get another car ready for scrap, but this one here is probably going to be on the chopping block pretty soon. Not exactly sure where it's going to go, but it's going to get built. So I can basically choose between the Lumina, which is in 2 months, or I can choose between the new Honda, which is going to be in 3 months. Now, this car might be ran earlier. It could be ran as early as this Friday because I have a couple buddies asking me for a figure 8 car. So I was thinking maybe I should pull this Honda into the shop and start dealing with it. My plans are for this is to get this ready for the Mums Motorsports off-road rally race, endurance race, whatever you want to call it. I want to do a small lift kit to it, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that right now. I want to put a better bumper on it. I want to put a skid plate onto it. You know what? I think the Honda just won. I think the Honda is something a little bit different that I can enjoy and get away from like the derby stuff for a bit and just build a demo cross car basically. So let's go start up that Camry. Actually, we have to throw a hood on that Camry. A tarp, maybe just a tarp. Let's get that Camry out of the shop, and we're going to get this Accord pulled in. You guys have been asking for it. I told you do something different than a camera. Last year we did a Mazda and an HHR. This year we have a Lumina, we have a Buick, and we have an Accord. If you guys don't know, I've ran Accords before. And I like Accords. I think Accords, I think they're different. They're a little bit different, but I think Accords are one of the only small cars that can take on a Camry nose to nose. And when I say small cars, I'm talking around me. Anything under 106. I think Accords are one of the only cars under 106 that can take on a Camry nose to nose. So, makes sense that I'd build one. Now, took all the interior out and I removed the door power window system, so oops. I do like smashing windows, I just don't like vacuuming them up. Last one, actually I gotta take out the sunroof, but I'll unbolt that one. I'm going to leave the windshield in because this is not a demolition derby car. This is a figure 8 Demo X and Rallycross car. So I got all the glass out yesterday, but my camera battery died, so couldn't really continue. Little chunks of glass all throughout it, but realistically, for smashing out 5 big windows, this car is pretty clean of glass. The battery was dead, so what I ended up doing was coming up to the front. I took a sledgehammer and removed the factory fiberglass bumper, and believe it or not, I never even did any of those bolts. I just smashed this off with a hammer. Now this here is going to be a figure 8 car, so I'm allowed to load the frame, I'm allowed to make my own rad supports, I'm allowed to reinforce the front end, but this is not a demolition car. This is a off-road endurance race car, this is a demo cross car, this is a figure 8 car. This is not designed to hit people, so all I'm going to do is make it so the frame won't bend, keeping the front end as straight as possible. I believe these are about 13 inches long, they've been put in there. Now, where I'm running, this car here is probably going to run at Mom's Motorsports Endurance Race, so I'm only allowed rebar bumpers. So this bumper here is actually off of I think it's the front bumper off a Sienna minivan, or maybe the rear bumper off a Corolla, I'm not sure. But if you take a look, we've already inserted a little piece of lucky pipe inside there. Lucky pipe. And we're going to mount that on here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this angle bracket and I'm going to cut it down and I'm going to make it so it's like that. I'm going to make one for each side and one for the top and maybe even one for the bottom. So then that way that pipe isn't going to move. Then I'm going to cut this pipe to the right curvature of the bumper, and then I'm going to weld a piece of plate on the back of the bumper and then weld that plate to this actual steel that's sticking out, in an effort that it'll stop it from bending. And it will stop the bumper from bending onto itself and ripping off. So let's get going. I'll see what it looks like here in a bit. buddy that I got the car off told me that the radiator wasn't busted. I knew it was busted. Look at the seal blowing out of it. Not that bad. Probably fixable, but honestly, I'll probably just get a new one. I had to cut the bottom rad support out though to get that out, but that's okay. I want to reinforce that bottom rad support all the way across. I was going to weld the bumper on, but the welder went into limp mode, so I've waited the time. She's ready to go. Let's get this bumper on. Well, the wife wants to go pick raspberries, and honestly, I kind of want to go pick raspberries. I really like raspberries. They're wild ones, so they taste great. But that's about the end of me working on this car today after work. As you guys can see, this bumper looks fantastic on this car. I would have kind of liked it if it was a little bit longer. Once these tires get on, they might be a little open. But you know what? There's not a whole lot I can do about that. But what do you guys think about the skid plate I've got going on this thing? So far, it's just tack welded on, nothing too serious. But you guys are getting the gist of how this car is going to be built. She's going to be a heavy front end, a light back end, built to race, built to lock up the e-brake and spin the corners. So, oh well, it's starting to look pretty good. I'm pretty happy. I still haven't decided if I'm going to cut this thing into a pickup truck or not. I still think it'd be really cool if I cut this thing into a pickup truck. Oh well. Thanks everybody for watching. The Accord is being built, and I'm pretty happy about that. And a little bit different than the Camrys. Still a tough car though. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Look at the big bowl of raspberries we got. Gonna make a nice pie out of that.